Hey there, YouTube, Shady Bill's Garage here, and today we're going to change the brakes and rotors on a 2007 Nissan Xterra. And this is going to work for all the Nissan Xterras from 2005 to 2015, as well as the Nissan Frontier up through, I think, 2022, I think, when they went through, and the Pathfinder from 2005 to, I believe, 2012. All the same. So this is what we're going to need. Obviously, in parts, we're going to need new brake rotor, and these were at Amazon. They were $60 for the pair, but I did not cheap out on brake pads. I got these from AutoZone, and they were like $47. So you're looking at $100 in. What are you going to need? You're going to need some sort of brake reset tool. I'm going to use my brake resetting kit. You can also use a C-clamp or get the generic twisty one for $6 or $7 at an AutoZone or any of those parts places. And we are also going to need a 13 millimeter socket to remove the brake caliper bolts. And if you're not changing the rotors, you just need a 13 millimeter socket and your brake reset tool. And we need a 19 millimeter socket after we get those out to remove the caliper brackets. And when we get these brackets off is when we can remove these brake rotors. All right, so let's start by removing the brake calipers. So here we go. We're going to remove it. Usually they're a little tight, so a little hint is it's going to be a little tougher with one hand. Give it a little smack. Just get it there and give it a smack. Oh, can't do it with one hand. So there we go. And we'll loosen that up. And we'll loosen this bottom one. And then we're going to hang this brake caliper. We're just going to pull it off. Okay. Both of them came loose. So I'll remove the bolts, and I should get like some sort of zip tie or something to hang this brake caliper up so that we don't accidentally put any pressure on this brake line. We don't want it to ever hang by the brake line. That's how bad things happen. So now we got the brake caliper off. I'm just going to put it here right now. Okay. Oh, all right. There we go. And this is the brake caliper bracket. Here are our brake pads. They're actually in pretty good shape. Now we're going to take off the two bolts right here and right here so that we can get this brake caliper off. And when we do that, we can remove this rotor. These are usually very tight. You're usually going to need a longer breaker bar with them. And honestly, so you don't hit your fender, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the wheel all the way to the left so I can swing this out. So when I put my breaker bar on it, I can get some leverage and be outside of the fender. So I'm going to turn the wheel, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so here we go. I got to get my breaker bar on my bolt. Okay, get some leverage. So I got a pretty good sized bar. There we go. Okay, so we're going to pop that off. That one's nice and loose now. Once you get them loose, you can then get a regular socket on. You don't have to keep dealing with your breaker bar. Truth be told, I just broke those a minute ago. So I needed both hands to do it. So now I'm going to put my socket on my... Maybe I'll even put it on my gun. Make my life easy. And we'll zip these out. Okay, get one out. Oh, there's one. Get the other one. Obviously, you don't need those, but we have them. We're going to use them. So, looks like we're lucky. And this brake caliper rotor is just going to come off. Sometimes you get a big ring of rust that's built up in here. These seem to be really good. These are coming right off. And we take off the rotor. And now we're going to, without getting our fingers on this metal and getting any grease on it, we're going to pop this off. And we're going to slide it right back on here. And then I'll get back and I'll show you how to put your new brake pads in your caliper bracket. So here we go. We have our brake pads on our brake caliper bracket. We are going to pop these out. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. And we're going to replace them with our new brake pads. So we give them a little twist. They come out. And these are actually weird, where a lot of brake pads, you'll see a little metal tab. And that little metal tab is for your brake wear indicator. And the Nissan ones, the brake wear indicator is actually right here. And of course, these brake pads did not give me new ones. So that if you get too close, this starts to hit the rotor, and that becomes your squeal, where it's like constantly squealing while you're driving. Usually it's on the brake pad, but in Nissan, apparently, it's in the bracket, in this little holder here, which my brake pads did not come with a new one. So we're going to slide these two new brake pads in, just like we did. We're going to put it back on this caliper. We're going to bolt it in. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, and so now you can see our new brake pads are in. We will put the anti-squeal little divots in, top and bottom. I might have to do this one. I'm not on the phone when I'm not holding the phone. And the caliper bolts here are torqued down to the proper 110 to 135 foot-pounds of torque with my calibrated elbow. Now, we want to reset these pistons because we now have all this more meat on these pads, all this extra brake pad material. And these pistons, in time, have been coming out and out and out to make up for how much brake pad you use. These have to be pushed back in. So you can use a C-clamp, get a big C-clamp, put it around here. Always put your old brake pad, because you don't care about it, you're going to throw it away, back here, so that when you push on these pistons, you don't damage the pistons. So I put my brake pad just like this. I'm going to squish in on it, and it's going to push these brake pistons back in. And I'm going to go from one side to the other, because it's a dual piston setup. From one side here, as that goes in, I'm going to go flip onto this side. I'll push that one in a little bit more. Then I'll come back here, and I'll probably wind up doing 4 passes. And this is going to push these pads back in. So as I now tighten these, let's see if I can do this. Tighten these, you'll see they're starting to go in. Okay, so I got that one. This one went in a little bit, so now I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to push these in. I'm not going to do it on camera because it's impossible to do with one hand. And then we're going to put it back on, and I'll be back in a second. So as you can see, we pushed them back in. We put the caliper back on. Now we're going to tighten up the 13 millimeter bolts that hold the caliper on to 22 foot-pounds. So they're not crazy tight. These things actually float in here. So we're going to tighten these up, and then we're going to pump the brakes. Well, put the tires on. And then you have to make sure you pump the brakes the first time, because right now the pads have to come back out to smush these brake calipers again. So get inside, you pump the brakes probably like 10 times. At first they're going to go right to the floor. The second time they're going to have a little bit more bite. Eventually, after about 10 pumps, your brakes are going to feel good again. Put your tires on and take it for a test drive very slowly. Set the brakes in. Do a couple of really slow stops. And make sure they feel good. If something doesn't feel good, or if there's a funny noise, stop, take a wheel apart, and figure out what happened. Thanks, YouTube, and good luck.